Have I fell victim to the productivity trap? Maybe I would if I wasn't doing what I love to do. But if I was in a productivity trap, then that means that I'd be constantly going. And I'm not like that. I'm not like what people portray on social media is not what's happening in the real world. At least not with me. Like, there's days where I work 10, 12-hour days, working on purpose, you know. There's also days where I don't do nothing, literally. So, and I don't beat myself up about the days I'm not doing nothing, because I know life has its seasons. There's going to be weeks where I'm super productive. I'm doing all the tasks. I'm reading 10 hours a day. There's going to be days, there's going to be weeks that I'm doing that. But there's also going to be weeks where I may read for 1 or 2 hours a day and not do nothing. There's going to be weeks like that. You have to understand that there's cycles in life. And just like in trading, I think of trading like the same way. Like, over the course of a 60-year lifespan, you're going to have decades where you're expanding. You're going to have decades where you're stagnant. And you're going to have decades where you're declining in your growth. That's just how it is. And over a 60-year, 70, 90-year lifespan, we want our chart to be going upwards, right? So I try to look at it like that. And if you look at it like that, you can look on like a daily time frame, on the day-to-day. There's gonna be days where you don't do nothing. There's gonna be days when you're doing a lot. There's gonna be days when you're doing okay. That's just how it is. You can't beat yourself up about what you didn't do yesterday, because that just leads to a mental beatdown. You're in a mental warfare with yourself. We don't want that, because that leads down to mental destruction, and that's not healthy for the mind, body, or spirit, right? So I want to talk about the levels of productivity. We can't compare what somebody else is doing to what we're doing right now. There's levels to getting work done. There's millionaires and billionaires that was working 12, 15, 16, 18-hour days, but now they don't have to do that because they have delegated tasks to other people. At some point, we're going to be in that point where we're delegating tasks, but we're not right now. So guess what? We got to put in the work, but we also have to give ourselves grace. We also have to be patient with ourselves, because yes, we're going to get to that point where we delegate tasks, but right now we got to be okay with not knowing certain things. We got to be okay with not doing certain things that we know we should be doing. Give yourself grace. I'm gonna say that consistently, but I'm also gonna say don't be playing around. There is seasons for rest. I'm not gonna lie. I've been in the season of rest. I'm in my season of rest, and I'm coming out of it. There was a point where I was working from 2019 to 2022. I was working nonstop, no rest. I didn't even come home. I felt like I missed a couple years of my little sister's life. I just came back and she was all grown up. I was in that period, but now I'm home. I'm resting. I'm resting my mental health. My body is resting. I ain't like I was. At one point, I was working out when I was at work, working out consistently, boom, boom, boom. Bro, I got tired of that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I took a little break. It was months where I was inconsistent, but I'm back on it. So there's gonna be seasons of work. There's gonna be seasons of rest. And when you're in those seasons, you have to be mindful. I'm gonna preach mindfulness as well. Be mindful of where you are and where you're going. Know that it doesn't change overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. Be mindful of that, so you can preserve your mental health, because your mental health is important. It helps you through a lot, and it can also hurt you at the same time, you know? So, my little sisters and brothers, right? I'm gonna give y'all this example. Like, sometimes I help educate him, and him being a toddler, right? I don't know if he's still a toddler. He's not catching on as quickly as one may like, right? So at this point, you have to be patient with a child like that, like me. I have patience. I've built my patience over time. You have to build that's like a skill. Patience is like a skill. I've built my patience with myself. So when it comes to educating him, I know how it feels to not understand something and not catching on as quickly. So guess what? I can give him grace. I won't beat him down because I know how it feels to be in that situation. Yes, he needs to get it, but you trying to force it on him, he's not gonna get it. It's not gonna work. And I've learned that from when I was in school. You tried to teach me something and it wasn't clicking, I'm just not gonna get it. And guess what? I'm gonna get angry at myself because I ain't getting it. And that's gonna make the problem worse because now I don't feel like I'm good enough. You don't want to project that on I don't want to project that on a toddler. So guess what? I'm not gonna project it on myself, and I'm not gonna project it on anyone else, right? Because I know how it feels to not get it. So give yourself grace, man. Be patient with yourself, but also put in the work. Put in the work. If you ain't did what you need to, let's say over a year time span, if you ain't worked out in 3 months and you know you need to work out, you know you need to get on your stuff. Get on your stuff. But also I do know other factions of life can hinder that. But guess what? You gotta get yourself out of that predicament one way or another. Because if you know you need to work out, you know you feel good when you work out, you know you feel good when you're budgeting your money correctly and you're not recklessly spending. If you know you feel good when you in that space, then you need to get back to it. You know what you got to do, so get back to it. That's what I say on that. There are seasons of growth. There are seasons of being stagnant. There are seasons of declining. Be mindful of what season you're in, and be mindful that we're human. We're not perfect. Don't compare yourself to what somebody else doing. Social media is already doing that for us, having us compete against each other. And guess what? We're trying to work harder than the next person, bro. People be committing suicide, bro, over that type of things because they don't think they're doing enough. Bro, you're doing enough. You at where you at for a reason. You at where you need to be at. You at where the Most High wants you to be at. So give yourself grace with that thought. Don't beat yourself up. But no, it's work to be done. And when you say you not where you want to be at, so you gotta. What's the quote? You gotta change for what you. I don't remember the quote. I can't think of it off the top, but you gotta change for what you say you want, or change what you want. That's the quote. Yeah, change for what you say you want, or change what you want. That's just simple. But don't beat yourself up. That's my message for the day. Give yourself grace. Put in the work. Be mindful of where you at. Live your life. Do what you said you're gonna do. If you don't, 100% of the time, it really don't matter. What really matters? Being happy. Enjoy your life. I'm out of here, man. Peace.